A lot of you all, not you, me included, people in general, make a bunch of excuses as to why they can't do something, why they can't accomplish things. You know, a lot of it, come on, you good. You, a lot of it is all in your head. And once you understand that you are a human being, not a human having, not a human doing, you're a human being. And you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. And when I met this young lady, she was living proof that every and anything is possible. So I wanted her to give y'all some parting words and tell you a little bit about her story. My friend, Miss Toana Williams. Y'all can do better than that. Give it up for her. You gonna hold it for her? Yeah, I got it. Okay. Now I'm gonna, yeah. Okay. Would you guys give me 1 second? Give me a mic, and I'm gonna take the stool real quick. I'm gonna take one of those. I'm sorry, Dad.
I don't need a mic. You don't need a mic? I don't need a mic.
You don't, oh, you sure? Well, for the cameras, we gotta have you on.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay. How y'all doing? Good. I am the Hope Coach, Dr. Toana Williams, and I am a messenger of hope, help, and inspiration to the world. Yes.
Miss Williams, what's the name of your book and your movie?
My book is Unarmed but Dangerous. And the movie is based on that book, and the movie title is Eagle Without Wings. Yes.
Unarmed but dangerous.
Yes.
Eagle without wings.
Yes.
Miss Williams, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yes.
Growing up, did you think you had a disability? As a youth, like, did you know you knew you were different, but how were you raised to be to persevere? Or did you have a struggle early on and you became this person?
Yeah.
Okay, which one?
I struggled in the beginning because I really didn't know how to maneuver, how to do this. But I had a Grandma Rogers that did not play with me. My grandma looked at me in the eyes when I was 4.5 years old, and she said, T, you must not have needed arms because God didn't give them to you. She said, nothing's missing. If you don't have it, then you don't need it. And those words continue to resonate throughout my soul. So, yes, I made it. I figured it out. With no instructions nor directions. I figured it out. As a matter of fact, that's my middle name, Toana Figure It Out Williams. I'm just saying.
I want y'all to think about that for a second. Like, what would your middle name be if you had to give yourself a verb, like figure it out?
Wow.
Ask yourself, what would your verb be? Brian, what? Bean. Chuck, what? Like, what would your middle name be? So, Ms. Williams,
yes.
You obviously have overcome a lot.
Yes.
What was the most challenging thing in your life? What was something that you had to overcome because I know your story.
Yeah.
How did you overcome the most challenging thing in your life, and what was it?
Wow, there were two. The first was fighting a 10-year crack cocaine addiction. From 1981 to 1991, I was addicted to crack, living in D.C. And I was a follower. And a friend of mine said, come on, we're going to a party. I was 18 years old, so I followed my friend. And I didn't know it was a crack party. I walked in the room, smoke was everywhere. She put the crack pipe to my mouth, and she said, Toana, when I put this pipe to your mouth and this lighter, you pull. And I was crazy enough to do it. And it consumed my life for 10 years. I fought and fought and fought because I knew that I was bigger than that. But one night, in August of 1991, after prayer, continual prayer, my husband Toby and my grandma Rogers and, just fasting and talking to God on my behalf one night in August of 1991. I'll never forget that night. I cried in Toby's arms that night. He said, T, I can't do this no more. You got to get it together or I'm out of here. And he was the love of my life. So we cried ourselves to sleep. But before I went to sleep that night, I said, God, if you're real, you got to help me. I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of living this lifestyle. I said, so I want you to either kill me in my sleep or deliver me from this crack. And the next morning, I didn't want it. I didn't smell it. I didn't crave it. Hallelujah. It was done. It was done.
That was it.
That was it for that part. Now, my other challenge was motherhood. That's right. Because the doctors told my mom, first of all, the doctors told my mom that I would not live to be 2 weeks old because I was born without arms. Then they said, well, if she lives, she'll never walk. Yes, I have challenges with walking, and even more so now. However, I'm walking. Then they said, well, if she lives and walks, she'll never have children. Well, my daughter April is 39 years old, and the seed continues with my 3 grandboys. So I'm just saying, woo woo. Whose report are you gonna believe? How about that part? So, you know.
You overcame both.
Both.
You actually, that was about 5.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. Let me ask you something else. To somebody that wants to give up, to somebody who believes it's getting difficult, to somebody that believes it's too hard, to somebody that believes that it's impossible, what you got for them?
Change. There were 3 significant changes that I had to make in my life in order to be the hope coach, in order to be bold. The first significant change, and I see y'all note takers, so y'all got some money coming. I'm just saying, whoop whoop, because note takers are money makers. I found that out. The first significant change that I had to make was I had to change my mindset. My thinking had to change to the possibilities, to the I can things, to the yes things. I had to start telling myself, yes, Toana, you can do this. So there was a shift in my mind that told me I could try it, I could do it. And within that mindset shift, first of all, I had to give myself permission.
There you go.
Somebody ought to write that down.
Give yourself permission.
I'm going to give myself permission to do it. Then you change your mindset. The second significant change that I had to make was I had to change the company that I kept. Good God Almighty. You see, there are some people in your life right now that mean you no good. You know who they are. They raggedy. They're gossipers. They'll tell you what you can't do. The naysayers, doubters, and haters, you know who they are. Change the company that you keep. Watch your friends. Watch them. You see, when God delivered me from that crack cocaine addiction that night, I couldn't hang around crackheads anymore.
Can't do it. That's right.
I couldn't hang around losers anymore. I couldn't hang around alcoholics anymore. that was the second significant change. The third significant change that I had to make was I had to change the way I saw myself. I had to look in the mirror and see my little bitty self. And I started looking in the mirror and telling myself, Toana, you know what? You are the bomb.com. Girl, you look good. Speak over your life. That's what I had to do. I had to speak over me. I had to tell myself that I'm good. That I'm fearfully and wonderfully made by God just like everybody else. And that thing just started resonating. I'm not conceited. I'm just confident in who I am and what God said about me. So get you some changes.
2 more questions. What skills did you have to learn? I've seen you you write with your feet.
Yeah.
What other skills did you have to learn? Because everybody here, to get where you want to get and to become what you want to become and do what you got to do, you got to learn some new skills. You had to learn new skills from day one. What other new skills did you have to learn? How did you adapt?
Well, adapting for me, I had to figure it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Life didn't adapt to me. I had to adapt to life. One thing I want you to write down is excuses or results. You can't have both. My God. That's one of my favorite quotes for myself. One more time. Excuses or results. You can't have both. Why? Because excuses don't hide. They just reveal who you really are. You know who you raggedy. You know when you raggedy. You know. I'm just saying that's my favorite word.
Right. I like it.
I see raggedy all the time. And I'm like, really? You got everything you need and you sitting around complaining, whimpering, and whining. So I'm just saying, we got to get past that. Get past that part. That's right. But remove the excuses today. That's right. Now, what was your question again?
No, you know what's scary is the second question I had to close it out was, how do you feel about excuses? That literally was my second question. Yeah, so in asking of the first question, the follow-up was excuses. But the question was, what skill? I've seen you write with your feet. Yeah, what kind of skills? Obviously, you had to adapt. What skills did you have? Tell us some things you can do in your situation.
Yeah, I'm an artist. I draw with my feet. I am the bomb. Y'all got to go to ToanaWilliams.com. That's TAWANA Williams.com. And it's going to bless you. It's going to bless you. It's going to show you how bad to the bone you really are. You're going to see yourself in a different light. And you're going to say, if Miss Toana can do it without arms, shame on me. Because all I've been doing is complaining about what I don't have. And here Miss Toana is without arms. See, I was born this way. I'm good. Ain't nothing missing over here. Nothing. Nothing. I'm living in 3D, y'all. I'm debt-free, drug-free, and drama-free. Woo, woo. So look, I'm just saying. But yeah, I got skills. I'm an artist. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a wife. I wear so many hats. I'm a certified Les Brown
coach, speaker,
platinum speaker since 2004. Les is my personal friend and my personal mentor. So I'm just saying, what's in your hands that God can use? What's in your hands that the Creator can use? See, what we do, we've been doing for 28 years. I had to retire November 30th of 2024 because of some health challenges. But after doing this for 28 years, I learned. I grew. But I saw so much lack in people who had everything. So right now, what I'm doing, instead of traveling the country and giving hope, I am working on my movie, Eagle Without Wings. It's going to be powerful, y'all. It's going to be powerful, and I'm excited. I'm excited about life and you know, all of the things that, you know, I'm grateful for the life that I've lived. You know, my mom, she is a beast. Good God. When I was born, my mom didn't know what she was going to do to me, for me. She said, T, I didn't know what to do. She said, Mike, I told her, I said, Mike, you couldn't teach me. I had to teach you how to take care of me. She didn't know. So my mom wrote a letter to President John F. Kennedy, y'all. She's a bad woman. A black woman in the 60s, poor, talking about she needs some help because she had a handicapped daughter. How about 2 weeks later, President Kennedy's team wrote her back and saw fit for me to go to a place in Durham, North Carolina. It's called the Duke Cerebral Palsy Hospital, and that's where I was trained to use my blessed feet as a baby. I was 11 and a half months old when I was trained, when I got started with training, you know, and I stayed there until I was 4.5 years old. Y'all gotta get the book, Unarmed but Dangerous. And then the movie, oh my God, it's just gonna revolutionize excuses. I'm excited.
One more thing, Unarmed but Dangerous. Y'all, we're going to get the book? Y'all going to support her?
Yay.
One more thing. Let me talk to you real quick, man.
Yeah.
How cool, how amazing is it to be inspired every day? Talk about this young lady.
Well, you know, when you're around Toana, you can't make excuses. Because if you make an excuse, I look at her and when I get ready to do something, I say, I can't say that. And then when she asked me to do something, I said, well, I'll get it in a minute, you know, and when I get ready to get it, she's like, it's already done. So how do you be around a person that's always moving and doing things? I just sit back sometimes and say, go ahead, baby, you got this. You got this. And that's where I had to live life with her, saying, you got this.
You got this.
Yes.
And how important is the support system?
It's so awesome. This is my loudest cheerleader, biggest fan. Toby was there from the beginning. Let me just tell y'all, we've been married 33 years. Yes. Christmas Day we'll be celebrating 34 years. But we've been together about 37 years. But we've been friends 56 years. I was 6 and he was 12 when we met for the first time.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Who would have ever thought that I'd marry my childhood friend and then my childhood sweetheart? Because I used to love Toby, but he didn't know it. I used to be like, ooh, when I get married, when I get grown and I get married, I hope I get married and get Toby. I'm just saying, as a child, that's what I used to say. It was crazy.
And look at God.
But look at God.
Toana Williams, y'all give it up for her. Unarmed but dangerous.